Well, good afternoon. It's been 4 weeks since we were awakened to a flooding neighborhood, and I just wanted to give you an update. We are 2 weeks into the work being done inside the houses, and I want to start by thanking the organizations in this community, the Southwest Detroit Pride Group, UNI, LaSed, Southwest Detroit Business Association. It has been remarkable to see the way the community has come together and partnered up with the City Crews. The City Crews have been a fixture in the neighborhood, but we had 400 houses in the area. 200 or so ended up with water in their basement. 110 lost their furnaces, 90 lost their hot water heaters. We moved more than 200 into hotels. And just because you moved into a hotel doesn't mean your problems were solved. Folks who moved into hotels had to get kids to school, had to get themselves to their jobs, had to get back here for appointments so that the house could be restored and the furnace could be repaired. We could not have begun to do this without the volunteers from this community, the trusted voices from the neighborhood. It took a while before we were completely in sync, and each one of the 200 families had their own story. It wasn't like there was one solution. Everybody had their own situation, but I'm pleased to say that 2 weeks in, of the 110 furnaces, half have been replaced already. We have 7 contractors with 15 crews inside the houses today. Of the 90 hot water heaters that need to be replaced, 60 have been replaced already. And so when Gary Brown told you he thought this was a 6-week project, I am really pleased to say, from what I've been able to tell, they are on target. That the furnaces, the hot water heaters, the basements will be restored in that timeline. We've already gone from 200 families in the hotels down to 100, and we have 30 right now in the process of moving back. There will be a handful of individual situations. We've got some houses that had significant structural problems before the flood that are more complicated when you get into hot water heaters and plumbing. We've got a couple that have pipes that were burst that are going to be more significant repairs. But I really feel good right now that what DWSD promised in a 6-week restoration is going to be, with a handful of exceptions, going to be completed. The groups now are helping us tremendously in moving on to the insurance claim process. You get back into your house because it's warm, you have hot water, power, you still have got, in many cases, damaged items in the basement. You might have lost a washing machine or a dryer and the like. In some cases, they've lost cars. And so the groups are helping us go family by family, file their insurance claim so that it can be evaluated and we can determine what was lost from the flood. And as we've said before, the Great Lakes Water Association and DWSD will split the costs and make good on that. And to the people in the neighborhood, thank you for the patience. This was a tightly knit community before the flood hit, and I think they're even more tightly knit now. And so, Gary, to you and to the GLEWA crews that have been out here day after day for the last 4 weeks, I want to say thank you to your dedication. With that, I'll turn it over to Gary Brown to fill you in on more details.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And as he indicated, we've got a cadence going now where we're going to be able to just rip through the rest of this work in the next couple of weeks. I can tell you with regards to the claim process, that is going really quickly. This normally is a 45-day to 60-day process. We've already had a claim adjuster go to the 4th precinct, look at the 29 vehicles that were there. 5 of them have been turned back to the owners, And the rest of the vehicles that are at the 4th precinct, we're going to just total them out and pay the owners the Blue Book price. There are a total of 89 vehicles that are in the claim process. The ones that are in the claim with the home, the adjusters are now going to the homes. We've made this a very seamless process for the community. They simply go onto our website, pull down a claim form. Once they pull that claim form down, the insurance adjuster will call them, tell them that they've received it, and set up an appointment to come right out and start reviewing the damage at the property and settling those claims so that we can get those done in a very quick manner. Again, the mechanics, the furnaces, the hot water tanks, the electrical issues, the plumbing issues, we're addressing them first so that we can get people back into their homes while we take care of a punch list of other smaller things while they're still in the home. So I'm confident that with the weather warming up, we're going to be able to go faster, and hopefully I'll be able to meet that 6-week deadline that I set. Thank you. And can I just introduce Peter Fromm, and he just say a few words about the break GLWA is repairing.
Yeah, thank you, Director Brown. Pete Fromm, Great Lakes Water Authority, Director of Water Transmission. We are currently working on the backfill and restoration of the road. We're going to work on putting in a temporary road to be able to reopen that for the local area, and then from there we will continue with the permanent road restoration. Once the asphalt plants open up, we can come in and finish the permanent road restoration at that time and wrap up the project out in this area.
All right, and I guess with that, we'll take any questions. And Eva and Malia, why don't you come join me up here in case we have individual questions about the community. Have we even begun to put numbers on it?
It's 1.8 million just in the mechanicals.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I'm keeping a close track on the mechanical work we've done. It's about $1.8 million. I think it's going to be close to a $8 to $10 million project when it's all said and done. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. DWSD and the Great Lakes Water Authority will split the cost of this project 50-50. The whole bit will be split.
Yeah, so we started at, I want to say 206, I think was our high point. The last count I got this morning was 105 households were still there and 30 were in the process of moving. And so it is a cadence where it is an amazing logistical process. You've got somebody who's got a work schedule, but they got to be here to let the contractors in the house to replace the furnace. We're trying to work around schedules and the like, but I think we finally have it now where we had some times where contractors showed up and the homeowner wasn't there. We had times when the homeowners showed up and the contractor wasn't there. You've all covered these instances a number of times, and what you were covering was accurate. It was happening. I think we've made enormous progress now, and so we will see what the pace is, but I think we'll be down to 70 very shortly, and over the next couple weeks, I would say 90% plus will be back in their homes. Anything else? You've got some issues with some houses that had plumbing issues, chimney issues, etc., that predated this, and so it just means that putting in a furnace in a new house is different than what you might have to go through with some houses that had some other issues, and it's taken more time, but DWSD is doing what you would need to do. We're just saying we aren't going to have 100% of the work done, but there'll be a handful of outliers where houses needed extra work that will still be there after 6 weeks. But I would say 90% plus the work is going to be done, as I say, at the end of that 6-week window that When Gary Brown promised 6 weeks, I was a little bit skeptical. It looks like he's going to make it.
In regards to specifically foundations of homes where that water came in and
Yeah.
flooded the streets and what have you. Some residents I've talked to
Yeah.
were concerned about, compromised
Yeah.
foundations
Yeah.
because of the water. Will that be included at all in sort of the repair process and shoring up the actual foundations of homes?
Yes, absolutely. Our DPW has a structural engineer, that works for DPW. I've called him out on at least 2 occasions, and we found the homes to have no structural damage due to the storm. So these are older homes, but the storm didn't cause a lot of structural damage. The damage, the real issue is trying to bring these homes up to code. Some of the furnaces were put in when the houses were built, and the codes have changed, and so therefore it's a little challenging to meet the new code, but we're working through those issues.
One other concern brought up by a resident specifically, because she knew this was happening today. Concerned about just as people are filing claims for auto insurance because their cars were damaged, and just the increased premiums and what have you that will come about as a result of that. I don't know if you guys can speak to that, but that is something that some residents, and one in particular, was concerned about.
We're certainly going to cover any deductibles that any of the residents had on their vehicles or their home when they call their homeowner insurance. With a lot of these cars, there was no insurance, and we're still going to act as if there was and cover the cost of comprehensive insurance claims. And we're going to make them whole with either repairing the car or just buying it straight out. Same thing with the property in the home. We're going to be very liberal in making sure everybody is made whole.
This next message, I think, is for Pete. I'm aware that DWSD will assess their water and sewage needs. I want to know if Blue has something similar in a package water needs been assessed.
She talked to Sam on the CIP, so she's talking to the CIP.
Yeah, so we are evaluating this main currently to determine the best next steps to ready this to put in service, and to also we are evaluating our mains throughout our transmission main system, and that's been ongoing as well throughout our entire system of how we address certain aspects of our main to make sure that it is in service, and ready to go.
Give them an example of how you enhance the mains.
Yeah, so I guess an example is we can, through our LSIP program, we can go in, if we can, to isolate the main and physically do an inside inspection, or we can also put a what we refer to as a pipe diver in the main and let it swim, and it can inspect that transmission main and let us know of a condition. We can take that data and evaluate that with our engineering team and figure out what we need to do at the next best steps to address any concerns.
Mayor, is there anything that the city can do? I'm reaching a little bit because I don't know, but is there insurance for municipalities, or is this type of thing just always going to come from a general fund, or what do you take from this on how the city can better prepare moving forward?
Well, I think you have seen for the last 8 or 10 years, both GLEWA and DWSD target where they think the worst weaknesses are and start to fix them. I think we may have more information now about where some of the weaknesses are. And you have the ability, the way the system's set up, to shut off water in a particular main for a while and route water to a neighborhood a different way while you inspect it, potentially realign it, et cetera. Certainly this area is an area we need to take a close look at. But, you've seen a lot of small water main breaks on a street. We haven't seen one in a neighborhood like this. They've had some out in Macomb County this size, but not in a neighborhood. So I don't know that there's anything we can do more than what they are doing, which is prioritizing where they think there are the biggest problems in the water mains and the sewer lines. Go in, replace them, realign them, and continued upgrade. And I don't know what we're spending a year in our capital improvement plan. How much a year?
100 million.
So $100 million a year is being spent to upgrade. It's a lot better than it was 10 years ago. It'll be a lot better 10 years from now.
I know hot water tanks and furnaces and cars are obviously a priority, but what about like washroom?
Yeah. So they'll have an insurance claim and get it replaced.
How soon after a thing is vital are people paying the insurance? I know you said every
Yeah. Yeah, there's some claims on my desk right now to be approved, and we expect within 45 days that we'll have most of them settled.
Thank you all very much.